Today's guest walked into entrepreneurship with one call, trusted her instinct, and never looked back. She's a dancer, believer, a builder who believes anybody who walks into her space should walk out feeling something meaningful. Some businesses build around services, some businesses build around products. There are very few people who build around experiences. Hi, I'm Aishwarya Ramnath. This is Why with AR, where we go beyond what founders build, how they built it, and truly understand why they built it in the first place. Let's jump into the conversation with Shivani R, the founder of Tribal Brew Cafe. Welcome, Shivani.
Hi, Aishwarya. Thank you. Very sweet of you.
I'm so glad we're having this conversation. Now, I will jump into the straightforward question, right?
Okay.
India runs on chai, but you started a cafe. Why?
I am born in Chikmagalur.
Okay.
Okay. Brought up in Bangalore. So dad's from Bangalore, mom's from Chikmagalur. I feel I'm the best of these two worlds. I've seen how the city runs. My whole life has been here.
Right.
But my summer holidays has been back in Chikmagalur amidst the coffee estates. And I've seen what happens there, how life is over there. Right? India runs on chai, correct. But coffee, we are the 6th largest producer in the world. That does mean something. We are one of the best coffees in the world. And there's thousands of people working around it to produce it. Meanwhile, there's millions of people just consuming it because coffee makes them feel something.
Right.
And that's why coffee.
All right. And I think that does make sense, especially in Bangalore and across India. Cafes and having coffee has become a lifestyle choice right now. What do you say about that? Why do you think that shift happened?
Let me put light on this special person who introduced or made a movement for coffee in India, right? Mr. Siddhartha sir. He was the founder of Cafe Coffee Day.
Right.
And that's a huge shift. Being a producer, 6th largest producer for the world, hardly it made any sense unless and until we kind of held that pride within us, right? Until then, it was just getting white labeled left, right, and center across the world, while we were simply a chai country, like you said, right? That's beautiful, but there's also coffee which has so much depth. And Siddhartha sir introduced this concept where people connect beyond over a cup of coffee. A lot of things happen over a cup of coffee was their tagline, I'm guessing. And it just became a place to meet, a reason to meet a friend, have a meeting, build our aspiration. We used to bunk and head to this space. So I think that's where that lifestyle shifted for India. But today we are much beyond that. But that was the start.
Great. So what person are you actually? Are you a coffee person or a chai person?
I'm fully a coffee person now. I'm not a chai person. But the truth is I never drank coffee for 25 years.
All right. When was your first sip of coffee? Do you remember that?
After the thought of Tribal Brew.
Really?
Really.
Could you tell me that experience?
Okay, so after the thought of Tribal Brew, there was no name yet, but I wanted to learn the product. So very honestly, I was never a coffee pro. I did not know C of coffee also, never drank it.
Okay.
And this idea came into my mind, like I said, a friend rang me up. The idea of starting a business came up. There were 5 options.
That was a phone call?
That was the phone call.
Okay.
That phone call did not know my entire life would revolve around that simple 2-minute call.
Right.
So yes, it started from there. My first experience with coffee is after I decided, hey, yes, let me understand what are the gaps in coffee. And then I took up a course.
Okay.
Where we understand the gaps in coffee, what the producer produces and the consumer consumes.
What is the course called?
That was a cupping course where we understand how to identify the best of coffees and the worst of coffees. So I had to taste both.
Okay.
First day in my life, I have 42 cups. I needed 2 weeks, 2 business weeks to recover
Wow.
from that.
You just finished your 25 years quota in just one session of having 42 cups of coffee.
Covered
So,
it all
what
up.
did you learn from that course? What was your experience like, and where did you do that?
It was lockdown then, so I had to take it up online. But it
Okay.
was from this coffee woman of India. Her name is Sonalini Menon, ma'am.
Okay.
Very enterprising even to this date at this age. And I took that course from her just to identify what we are producing. And it just felt like, hey, yes, everything is coming out as coffee.
Yeah.
How do we know what's good? Because at that point of time, right? Even when I go back to my tata or my family and ask what happens to all our coffees that you grow for a year long,
Yeah.
everything gets exported. Do you know where it gets exported? No, no one knows. The whole city exports. We don't know where exactly, who exactly it's going to. So it's just uncanny that, a person is spending 365 days not knowing where it is leading to.
Yeah.
Right? For me to know that fact and then taste the coffees and understand what we are getting versus what we are sending across, I think that was my takeaway from that.
And did you see
Session.
a stark difference in the coffee beans in India and what gets exported? Do you think there's a difference of taste and quality?
Huge.
Okay.
That day it was huge. Today I would definitely say a lot of people have come into the market. Amazing coffee entrepreneurs who have brought in good coffee for ourselves now. Even the producers intend to give it to our own consumers here in India as well. So, but that day there's a very huge difference between what we used to get. So there's this grades in coffee, okay? AAA, AA, A, B, C, D, blacks bits.
Okay.
Lot of India used to get that last part, right? All the best coffees used to first get exported. All the leftovers used to be consumed by Indians
India.
themselves. And if we are so good, why should we
Export.
experience the worst?
Exactly.
So, yes.
What do you think a cafe should represent? What should a cafe make a customer feel once they walk in, according to you?
I want to make anyone who steps in energized. Feel energized, walk back recharged.
Right.
Feel a little lighter. Okay? Or a person could think of making someone forget everything, cutting all the noise and just be in their space. So I think you should choose the one thing that suits well to that cafe and everything else should come around it. Anyone who goes to, you're an interior designer. If your client comes saying, hey, this is my vision of a cafe, I have 1,000 square feet space and just build a cafe, I really think it will not work.
Yes.
As many cafes, every day we see about 6 cafes opening, but we are not seeing the 60 shutting down.
Right.
And that happens when the small, you just said, right, that small intent about what this cafe does, if that is not fixed that foundation before building the cafe, the interiors and the product, it will fall apart.
It breaks.
Yes.
And so you said you wanted anybody who walked into Tribal Brew feel energized.
Yes.
Is that something that you started off with, or that does that transition to what you want to represent today?
I'll tell you that is my vision statement in the latest form. Okay.
Sure.
This is literally last 3 weeks of work that I'm giving you, that recharge. But it has transformed clearly. I did not start with it. I started with a different product, different intent. But thank God we evolved and molded into what people want and what we are best at. A combination of both. I started as a product. We were simply a pouch with coffee powder in it.
Okay.
Okay.
With the same name.
With the same name.
Okay.
Yeah, with the same name. And today, I am sure Tribal Brew Daily has got molded because of this one reason. I set my 50, after I decided I'm going to come to physical spaces, I set 20 products of my coffee menu,
Okay.
launched it, got great responses, also got feedback, which we kept fixing.
All right.
Right? After a year, thank God, a pause hit me where I could get deeper into what I was doing. I went, met customers, observed throughout the week, and realized one thing. There was one common factor everyone kept saying. They said, I come here every day. And this is one of my most important part of the day because it energizes me for what I want to do.
Yeah.
And that became my why. Because I felt something when they said that. This was not in my vision PPTs or anything, any of the pictures, VC pictures, nothing. I felt something when they said it and it became my thing. So I love to energize people, and our product was doing it. And that's when Tribal Brew Coffee became Tribal Brew Daily today, because people are coming daily to get themselves energized. It's not just around product anymore. It's a lifestyle. And
That's beautiful.
yeah,
actually.
a daily habit, I would say.
Right. And you mentioned something very, very important in any founder's life, right? And I think most of my podcasts, also with the people that I've been spoken to, revolve around this fact that you need to put yourself out there. Like, talk to your customers, understand what they want, listen to them, observe what they are talking about your brand while you're not in front of them, because these are two different things. Let's say for the politeness and the kindness, people are not going to say a lot of brutal, honest feedback on your face. There are few people who might do that. And I think from a founder's lens, it is very helpful when somebody's honest with you. But you're not going to get the most honest feedback if you keep asking for it, unless until you put yourself out there, become a consumer and observe like them from their lenses. So that is something that you found very recently. And you also mentioned when you took a pause, right? And was that pause that you mentioned 3 weeks ago, like very recently? Why did it take you that long, and what made you take that pause?
Okay. As a founder, thankfully I've always been customer centric, because that's something that I got from my mom's business. Right? So even in the very beginning, when we started hiring, and I did not have to stand and run the show, while I started having people to run the show and I assess and build, right? I used to go every week to just meet customers. Sundays were to meet customers, understand what they were feeling, how they like it, what they were feeling, what can we do more. So that habit, I think, has led me to everything that we do today. And nothing else matters, guys. I think whatever branding, brand book, rules, analytics, Claude, AI, whatever you do, if you don't know bloody what your customer wants, nothing else matters. So go speak to your customer if you want to know what you want to give on the menu, on the service, on the experience. They will give you the right feedbacks to fix. It was never time. I was building. Right? In business, what happens is, a pattern that I have observed is, you set a goal for X. By the time you accomplish X, you're working on Y.
Yeah.
And I have not seen myself celebrate any of the X, Y, Z, because I'm always working on the next by the time this gets into place, because it's just not me. It's a whole village that needs to come together to accomplish any of the milestones.
Right.
So with that, it just became milestone after milestone. I think in December, we launched all the Christmas menus and all of those things. January was that drop in that silence, right?
Yeah.
Where we could look back what the year needs to look like and all of those things. And that's when, before we set the goals for the year, I wanted to go meet my customers. And when I met them is when I understood, I want to put food across. People want to feel energized. There are certain problems that's not solved. Let me go speak to my customers what it is. because I think it was about 3 months since I had just asked a customer's perspective, not just a product feedback. Product feedback kept happening. But you said, right, what's a customer's perception of a brand? What do they talk about the brand when you're not around?
Yeah.
That's what got me deeply into this in January, where, I felt like, I braided my roots back into control.
And do you think you learned a lot more in this journey of 2 to 3 months where you've been speaking to customers than you've learned in the last 3 to 4 years with Tribal Brew?
I would say I have learned a lot faster than more. Yes.
Right. And that actually saves you a lot of time. And now the quality, the branding, the experience has just improved so well for you. Like, I've been seeing the traction on Instagram for you. You're everywhere. I mean, I see a lot of people coming daily, like you said, and you're in the hotspot of Indranagar. And where did you start first? Was it always Indranagar, or where was your first store?
Good question. We were very clear on the idea. We want to give good experiences, but on the go, right? For that, the easiest way to do it was to get a truck, put a specialty coffee, bring a farm to cup experience, put a baker to bowl experience of fresh baked goodies, all of those things. We put it in the truck. 2 reasons. One was to find our MVP and see if this model really works for India, because no one was doing micro coffee shops when we started getting this idea. There was one person who had done it 3 years prior to COVID, which was not working anymore. So it was our take to do the analysis ourselves. We said we either do it and understand and not stick to online reports.
Okay.
When we set that up and we were just about to land it in an area which is not well heard of, there was a thought that came saying, if we are good and if our lives should depend on this, next few years should depend on this, we should put it in Indranagar. The best of coffee goons were there. And we should know if we are going to break it or make it over there. If we are any good, it will be proven there. That's why our first start was 100 Feet Road in Indranagar.
Was that a truck or like a small setup that you had?
We started as a truck.
In Indranagar as well?
In Indranagar itself.
Okay.
We said we will figure out anything that comes our way. No problem. But we are going to test and prove it over here. And prove it to ourselves. So yeah, that was our start. Today I think we have it in New BL Road, Indranagar, Church Street, Agara, HSR Layout, Megrith Road, Sarjapur, Mysore, Gokulam Road. I hope I have not left, because that particular store team is going to be angry.
Wow, that's exponential growth. Like, you've scaled quite quickly and quite fast. What keeps you building more and more Tribal Brew cafes? Like you said, there are 6 cafes opening every single day. And I think I read the statistics somewhere, and I hope I'm not saying this wrong. By 2036, F&B brand is only going to go up more than 30-40%. And in every 5 kilometers radius, you're going to have more than 1 or 2 cafes. How do you, as a founder of Tribal Brew, plan to sustain and be there on the long run?
There's about 36,000 decisions a person makes in a day.
Yeah.
Okay. And 265 of them are around, what do I drink? What do I eat? Say Aishwarya has this purpose of finding people's why. And if 265 of her decisions is around this, it's going to drain you by the time you take your actual important decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah. And decision making is what puts you on the forefront as a leader. So if you aspire to be something, then you just need some things set. Like, I was reading a study where some of the biggest entrepreneurs today wear a white shirt every day simply to cut the decision making
Of
the
what to wear
first
today.
decision in the morning to what to wear.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what Tribal Brew is going to be. We're not just a coffee brand. We're not at all a coffee brand. You can definitely take it off your mind. We are a neighborhood space that Aishwarya, as a driven person, will be able to come, recharge herself with a good cup of coffee, good nutritious food that also has the flavors of home, so you're comforted to do your next work. And I think that's what we stand for. And if we stick to it at any point of our vision or expansion, we will stay for the long run because it is for people.
Right.
And it's beyond just a product.
Right. So you're building a feeling that people keep coming back to rather than just a habit.
Pretty much, yes. I was about to say a habit, but you just made it so much more depth. Because when I go and speak to people in our stores, what I already observe is every day 3 p.m. that gang is here. Every day 8 a.m. this founder is here, taking their Americano, taking their butter coffee, whatever they want with their protein bowls, all of these, right? So a habit is already observed. We are seeing them clock their order every day at the same time. But why they would be coming back is because of the feeling.
Yeah.
Probably that hello that the barista says, which makes them feel like sorted. I have had people who said that, I have come on one of my worst days and simply with that warm greeting, I have felt so much better. So I think that feeling and the habit together is what that space makes it a neighborhood.
So this particular feeling that, or the experience that you want to provide, when you speak about that, earlier days, this experience that India first got in terms of coffee was from Starbucks, right? It was like a safety brand where you knew that if you walked into this particular Starbucks, you would be welcomed and greeted warmly.
Correct.
If I have to ask you a personal question, I want to know this. What is the difference between what Tribal Brew is giving as an experience from what Starbucks has already been doing in India?
The depth of home. That's what Tribal Brew does. There was this culture of katte before.
Yeah.
Where people around the same house would go to one space.
Katte near the tree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just sit there, energize themselves, talk, exchange a few things, and get back to their lives. Small things like this. It is integrated in everything that we do. We have a latte called a sakkat latte.
Oh, lovely name.
What makes it sakkat latte is because, yes, it is a Italian drink, but fully made with the kind of taste that Indians love. So, yes, I want a latte, but I have also drank filter coffee for the last X years. So,
Right.
I cannot bear a light coffee. So, I will make it a little bolder for people to feel like, yes, I can come back to this tomorrow.
So that's how you're blending global
flavors, Indian soul. And that's our differentiator between Starbucks and Tribal Brew.
Lovely.
You experience the world, but with the soul of your home.
The first few people make or break your brand.
Yeah.
So what's the version of, this is a little in-depth question, right? What's the version of Tribal Brew that would mean you failed even if you're making money?
Nice. I told you about the why. This why came out of people's mouth, right?
Right.
People told me that they are feeling energized every time they hit the spot. That's why they will come here. If that does not happen, even while we are scaling, if we are simply just a product brand, and if we are not giving this refreshed energy for any person, for them to feel a little lighter, for them to take it back home, I think Tribal Brew will fail that day.
Doesn't matter how many cups are selling that day. If the people don't feel energized, you feel it's not.
Yes, if I can't make a person feel anything,
Yeah.
I think that's where it will stop.
Great. Let's just hit reverse, right? Let's just go back to your initial days for a bit.
Okay.
When you were starting off, let's say in the food truck era of Shivani, in the early days of when you did not have validation, how did your days, months, week look like? How many hours were you clocking in? How was the journey for you like?
Number of hours has never changed. Day one to day infinity, number of hours has never changed. It was what I used to wake up for and go back to sleep at. There is no certain, hey, this is done from this to this. Has never been that. What else did you ask?
What was your early days like? Was there a part where you felt lonely in that building phase of yours?
To be honest, I haven't felt lonely because that's just who I am. Even if I'm alone, I am doing what it takes. Right? But there were days where it has shattered me. But it's just, wipe it off and get to the next task. Wipe it off and get to tomorrow. How do we get to tomorrow? That's all. I think that's the most important attitude a founder is supposed to have, because every day something is thrown at you and it is not going to be easy. All these fancy Instagram reels where we show inspection videos, all of it sounds sweet, nice. When you have to pay bills between 1st to the 10th, the rentals, the salaries, without having anything to take back home, but you need to figure out for everyone else. I think that's the attitude of this founder should be do whatever it takes.
Right.
Without that, it is not going, they're not able, won't be able to sustain this life. So I think for me, my one thing was whatever comes tomorrow, we will get to a 1% better. And that has helped me throughout the journey.
What was that one thing for you? Do you have a mentor or somebody you look up to?
My partner has been the biggest mentor, not to lie, but has been there throughout, saying, hey, if this did not work, no problem, this can be next. And that has been my biggest support, like a backbone. Yes.
And I also saw your recent Instagram post about your mom. We have to talk about that brilliant lady as well.
Yes.
She is Mrs. India today, 2026. Do you draw some of her qualities and inspirations from her as well?
200%. I think so much of who I am innately today is from how I have seen her build. At her age, if she is being a role model for the country, no matter what her circumstances were, I think nothing can go beyond it. What can stop me?
Right.
That gives us the stepping stones.
Right. So we spoke about a lot of building yourself in this journey of yours. So what has this journey taken from you that you did not see coming?
A lot of my lifestyle. Because I have been a person who has done multiple things at all points of life. Right? For an example, when I was studying, I used to study engineering. Like my mom would like to introduce me. Engineering. I used to learn classical. I stepped into professional dancing then, and I would go perform elsewhere. So I had to go rehearse another form, but I had to wake up at 4 a.m. for it to reach a certain space. Also go to college and train myself in the evening. And I would find time to take summer classes or be there for my mom's business where, there used to be events and I would handle customers in her clothing business. I used to do a lot of things together. In between all of this, I have also learned how to be a nutritional forward, not a coach, but a person who can be nutrition forward, and had led so many people, at least about 36 people whose lifestyles I could improve with nutrition. So I have done a lot of things. What I had to let go after taking up this is exactly this because this became my one thing. But did I let go all of it? No, I prioritized this. This is my one thing. But all of those things are actually adding value in my one thing. And if I observe it, each of it has taken a shape in Tribal Brew some way or the other.
Could you give me one example from that?
Example, I'm a dancer. I just told you about my dance journey. On our cup,
Right?
we have put huli atta on it. Why? Because two reasons. One, a person needs to feel energized. And in huli atta, there's an energy that these dancers dance with which is unmatched.
Yes.
And you go for your food and coffee to get that energy for your body. Right? Second, I've always wanted to build that Indian art and culture without having any brand's name on it to take it to the world. And this, I learned it from dance. The grit. I was just thinking the day before saying, there was a doubt that came to my mind if I can actually do that one particular thing, right? And I just thought if I can sit in Aramandi, which is a turned around feet half squat for 2 hours and dance, I can do anything. My mind's prepared for it. Another example is my mom's customers and how my mom has built her customers in her clothing studio, Mansi by Sudha Kumar, has been my biggest learning on customer experiences. Even to date, I go to a couple of events that Mansi has just so that I touch back my roots to customer experiences because that's where I know how to hold a customer for 15 years because Mansi did it.
Yeah.
So yeah, these are the things. I used to do 10 things, but even in one thing, all the 10 things show up in different ways.
Wow. Nice way to actually put that across. So, what is the person Shivani is becoming today in this journey? Has she fully become what she wants to become, or do you think it's a long way to go?
I think it's a everyday thing. Like I said, it's a muscle that's getting built and it's very interesting. Very rarely I sit down and see what I have become. But thanks to your podcast, there's so many things that I actually realized out of these questions saying, hey, yes, I have started here and come to here and I can't wait for the journey beyond. So I'm always becoming.
That's nice. I think learning is a never-ending phase, right? Till your last breath,
Yes.
you are learning. A person who says, I know everything,
It's a joke on them.
yeah, right. So you always need to work in a perspective that you know nothing. And I think admitting to you know nothing actually expands your horizon on a lot more things that you can learn from people, right? A small example, yesterday I shot another podcast and he was 22 years old. There's a lot that we can learn from our younger generations. I think there's no age bar to who and when they can teach you. Whether you're talking to a 6-year-old, a 16-year-old, or a 60-year-old, everybody has their own perspective of a certain topic. And the more open you are, the more it actually helps you to make yourself and your life much better.
So true.
And I think becoming, which is also a very viral phrase right now on Instagram, although it's cringe, is true,
Yeah.
right? So in this phase of becoming, what does growth actually mean to you?
So there's a certain image that I want to be, right? That could be of discipline, how I hold myself, how I'm able to lead hundreds of people, all of those things. To reach there, there's something that I have to keep learning.
Right.
And if I keep learning, that itself is growth to me. So yeah, that's my growth.
Great.
When I don't stop.
Growth is never giving up, never stopping for you.
Never stopping for me.
So how do you identify yourself, right? There's a lot of, are you a hard worker or are you a smart worker, or is there something else that you call yourself?
I would say I'm a smart hard worker.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a word?
I don't know. You can come up with that if that's who you are. That's
Yeah,
who you
I think I'm a
worship.
smart hard worker.
Could you explain? How do you inculcate that in your daily operations?
Got it. So smartness comes from the systems that I create before I start anything. The problems come every day. That's what makes it a business, right? It's how a person attends to that problem is what sets you apart or your business apart, right? So there's this culture in the team that we're bringing up. Every time a problem comes, we don't put a problem in the WhatsApp group. We put a solution and a system for it directly. So we won't say, hey, this is over. This is unavailable. Rather, that message itself will have a solution and a system with it, which would be a suggestion to the team. And I think this is what I love to do, systems, which will help me approach everything smartly, think beyond the daily nitty-gritties, think for growth. And hard work comes from following up this system day in and day out, because it is not what you do 100% on one day. It is that 1% that you do every day.
Right. That's a very nice way to put whatever you're doing, right? So it's consistency, which is the hard work. It's the clarity, which is your smart work.
Perfect.
Which actually moves your wheel moving forward, right? So, another deep question.
Yes.
Have you tied your self-worth to this brand?
No.
And could
No.
you go deep?
I'll tell you why. There was a recent conversation I was having with a fellow founder. And in his conversation, something that I observed and made him stop and told us, Tribal Brew is not me. I am not Tribal Brew. I am my own person. Tribal Brew, its own brand. I am building it with a team, with all that I can. Right? So many times, with this personal branding being the forefront of our lives right now, people will think you are the brand and the brand's you, and I don't think that is what it is. You can fail and learn, but maybe the brand's still going. The brand can fall apart one day, but look at the growth that you had while it fell apart. Look at the next step that you're going to have right after. Look what it made to you, how much beyond a father you have come. Those kind of experiences cannot come from anything else. So
does that mean business is not personal?
Business is personal, but business is not the person.
So I think that's a very important quality for a founder to have, right? If you're attached to a particular idea, even though it's not working, you sticking to it will not make sense. You should be a person who adapts to what your business needs to grow into.
Exactly.
And that is also a very difficult quality to actually have, detachment, because when you're doing something on a day-to-day basis, right, in and out, 7 days a week, hours together, you're sort of attached to it. And you do have disappointments when things don't go your way. But I think, like you said, moving on and being 1% better to make sure your brand exists no matter what is the toughest quality a founder can have.
Yes.
Great.
You were very right when you said this one thing. I will put light on it again because it's important for the founders, right? Because founders do what they do for the brand day in and day out, right? They live in a stigma, most of them, where they will not understand if something's going wrong only because of the positive belief that they will make it work, which is perfect. Without that belief, there's nothing that, an Amazon founder or a Zepto founder could have done.
Yeah.
Right? But belief with clarity of thought and the reality check of the parameters that you set yourself for is very important. That's when you'll know that, hey, if X is not working, let me do X plus Y. Otherwise, what if I stick to X every day just because I'm doing it and I'll not listen to anyone and I'm in this bubble thinking it will work someday? It won't until and unless you analyze where you are, what you do, who you want to do it for. If that's not what the person wants to take, why are you even doing it for them?
So what's your WWH?
WW. Why, what, how?
Yeah.
Yeah. The three only.
Correct. For whom?
Okay.
And why are you building this? For whom are you building this? And what is your vision of Tribal Brew?
Tribal Brew is building India's daily coffee kitchen brand. Who is it building for? Every driven person has something to do, somewhere to be every time he wakes up, every day he wakes up, right? Tribal Brew is simply building for them to refuel you while you go walk towards towards your aspirations, towards achieving your goals. Tribal Brew will be there to refuel you at any point of the day, 6 a.m. to 12 a.m. with good food, good coffee, where even in the product there's aspiration, global experiences, but with the touch of home. That's exactly what you want to be.
Right. And your brand has that transition, like you mentioned. First, it was Tribal Brew in like a packet of coffee beans, and then you moved to Tribal Brew Daily.
Yeah.
And now you are something else, which is Tribal Brew and Kitchen. Could you elaborate on that? Why that transition? Why did you include kitchen in today's world?
Okay, so we were Tribal Brew Coffee. Like you said, we started as a pouch of coffee beans. The transition was when we were getting so this also came from one of the problems that we observed every day, right? We love to get our coffees during our meetings. We used to get our 22-hour cold brew, fancied it, and it used to energize us for the meetings. When the lunch break hit, and I realized that I had hurried in the morning, so did not carry my lunch bag. Now it's lunch break and I need to think about what I need. And while I'm fully going towards my vision, task list, brand positioning, brand awareness, I do not want to switch off and head to Swiggy and see what I want to eat. And that decision, I hate to make it because I want something healthier, something easier, and something that I can have every day. I saw a very similar pattern in my team also. A lot of them, their hometowns are away from Bangalore. They've come here. My team is a team full of amazing folks who are aspiring to be something hardworking, fully into Tribal Brew like almost me, right? But when it hits lunch break, they have delayed lunches. They just walk around and get anything that is there anywhere. No nutritional value, nothing that's doing to their body. And that's where food came as a part of this journey, where food is also energy.
Yeah.
And once a need, once a want. We put both of it under the same roof. That's what Tribal Brew does.
So you have a very unique menu actually. May I know how do you come up with those combinations? Because you're blending global flavors into cultural roots, right? Are you using that also in your food that you provide? And how do you come up with those ideas?
If you ask me, hey, there's a person next door doing the same thing, what makes you different? This is our differentiator. At the core of it, like everything else is story. That is the experience, all of it, if at all, they copy it as a product is one thing that, will stand with us. For an example, we have this Korean bun, global street food of Korea. We have put my mother-in-law's 50-year-old tokku recipe, spicy coriander tokku, whipped it into cream cheese and piped it into the bun. Simply because Indians used to love having spicy things with their coffees during their evening breaks, right? And somewhere in between the European culture or global influence of tea cakes, we lost what we do and what we love. So I think our way of having fun is to make you aspire to try the global experiences, but give a touch of home, which will make you want to come tomorrow for it.
And what were your early feedbacks about this unique Korean bun that you have?
Early feedback, very good question. So we used to have Korean bun and coriander bun.
Okay.
Okay. If we sold 40 of Korean buns, we used to sell about 5 of the coriander buns.
Okay.
And thank God I did not let go of that product, seeing just the numbers. Today, it's vice versa.
Oh,
Because we held on to it. Only because the feedback grew. This is a new product. It needs to travel through word of mouth. Until now, Tribal Brew has almost had a zero marketing spend. And it has purely been on word of mouth that we are present in multiple locations with so many customers, right? And this bun found its place in people's heart and traveled between one to another. And I think that's what makes it special.
That leads me to another interesting question. You said you stuck with it. You didn't just choose because of the numbers. You didn't take that out from the menu. So what are certain things in your daily decisions that you stick with data and some you stick with instinct?
Very good question. Very important to founders. There can never be one thing. It is a combination of data and instincts. It's that just that in that situation, who wins?
Right.
Who has more weightage? And we weigh it out every time. It's not like just because there's an instinct, we don't check the data. We have the clarity of the data, and then I bank on my instinct deeper. Saying,
Okay.
no, if this is going to work, I will make it work. So it's always have the clarity of both, but see who wins in that situation. I won't say that, don't dream of something without numbers. Make use of both.
Right. So with so much organic success, traction that you've gotten via Tribal Brew, what is your definition of success? Is that the same when you started or has it changed today?
I can tell you what is in my PPT, okay, about what success is, how many stores we want to go, and what is the vision we want to travel, all that. But quite recently, I went to one of our coffee kitchen bars. I met a person over there. I was doing my usual thing saying, hey, what do you think of Tribal Brew and all the brand perception thing? And there's this one thing he said. He said that I used to come with my dad to your truck when you guys used to have your truck. And that used to be our daily ritual. Okay. He had come with his mom at the Indiranagar store, not the truck. Yeah. And he said, today is the first time we have come out in days because we have lost our dad. And this is the only way I can make my mom happy. So we came for your coffee. I think that has become success for me.
If one day all of this shut down and you had to start fresh again, where would you start and why?
I would stick to good coffee, good food every day. Thinking beyond the product. I started as a product. Today, I know that we are a concept. It's a daily habitual brand. It's doing something for everyone's daily life. And that's where I would start today with. Because there's so much that I have learned in this journey from what I used to think to what I have to think for the customer.
Yeah.
And that would be my start. I will fully reverse this game saying I will only stand in the shoes of customers and then put the whole roadmap for the business.
Reverse engineering.
Reverse engineering.
Great. I think it's been a very insightful conversation with you, Shivani. I'm glad you took time out to do my podcast. And I think a lot of F&B owners, cafe owners and anybody who's just starting off the journey could learn a lot from you, right? So thank you for this lovely, lovely conversation. And I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed it. And I hope you guys also enjoyed this conversation.
Thank you. Even if it helps a couple of people who are building anything in India today, I would be so happy, and I feel, this all of these efforts would be valuable then. Thank you so much. You made me feel so wholesome with all your questions. It was just not another podcast.
That's a very nice compliment for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
If you truly listened to this conversation, it was just not about a cafe or a coffee brand. It was something much more deeper. It's about how people keep coming back to what they actually feel from the experience that you deliver. Business scales, product scales, but it's very difficult to scale a feeling. And I think that's a key takeaway from our conversation with Shivani, the founder of Tribal Brew today. If you're good at something that you naturally do or naturally can give, please stick to that. People come back to not what you just produce or provide, but how you made them feel during that experience. So if there's something that made you reflect, pause during our conversation, and if you're building something in experiences, please drop it in the comments and I read them personally. And that's a wrap on today's conversation with Violet AR, and I will see you on the next one. Do not forget to subscribe. Tap the subscribe button below.